Now we can take a look at some features of effective video ads. And I believe the most important part of a video is the first 5 seconds. If you're unable to grab the audience's attention within that first 5 seconds, most people will continue to scroll, especially since we've become so conditioned to being served so many ads on our social networks. So how do we capture that attention in the first 5 seconds? This brings us right back to a couple slides ago, and that is faces, figures, and movement. Give the brain something it can quickly recognize, and it will start to experience cognitive empathy. On top of this, there are very specific things that you can do to make the experience better for the audience, and one of those being preferred aspect ratios. So making sure that the video is taking up most of the screen, whether on phone, computer, etc., where the placement of that video is in a story, on a feed, you name it. Captions will always help quite a bit too. Not all videos will automatically play the audio, so having captions there sometimes will also help grab that user's attention, as well as keeping that video close to a minute. And there's some exceptions there, of course, but our attention spans have really grown shorter over the years with the amount of media and everything we consume. So even if you hook that person in the first 5 seconds, how do we keep them there? How do we keep them engaged and watching? So something we've learned here at Vyond with our different video ads is a fast-paced video designed to draw the audience's attention to specific details will definitely help keep them engaged, likely increase retention, and lead to an increased interest in the product or service or whatever it may be that you are advertising. So here we have an example of one of our ads, actually, and it's our Make Media That Moves video. And though we don't have any faces and figures right off the bat, there's a lot of movement. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so like I said, a lot of movement going on there, and it's directing the audience to specific things in the video. So right off the bat, we see the bee buzzing around, we have a firework going off and popcorn popping, and it's all things that are easily recognizable to anybody. Most audiences will be able to recognize that, along with the text that's changing with each scene. Reinforces what we're doing there. So what we're doing here is we're still aiming to tell a story with this video. And even though it's not, there's not a narrator or, a main character in this story, what we're hopefully trying to do is click in their brain, like everything that you can do with our video maker. All the different transitions, the different props and characters that we have in there are all available, and anybody can make media that moves. Now we'll take a look at some visual storytelling. And to kick that off, we have a video about visual thinking. So we've discussed this a little bit already, but let's dive in a little deeper.
What is visual thinking? Maps, logos, emoticons, instructions. We all process information in picture form thousands of times a day. And for many of us, when we're thinking hard or explaining something complicated, it feels natural to grab a pencil and express our own ideas in a visual way.
All right. So with that video, right off the bat, we're connected with that character, right? We're experiencing cognitive empathy, where we have been in that place where we need to explain a difficult concept, right? And so we're already engaged with this video, and we're starting our journey, our story with them. Another favorite thing about this video, wonderful animations. They did a great job, but it's really how it presents visual thinking as an active process. So it's appealing to and thinking with our senses. and in this case, sight, is highly effective. It's not only effective way to communicate, but it's also a powerful tool for active sense making. And when we use pictures and video and not just flat language to illustrate a concept, we develop an enriched understanding of those ideas. And the same goes for our audiences. All right, so we have taken some of those ideas and concepts and applied them to a lot of the videos we create here at Vyond. And here's another ad that we have.
Everyone wants to make an impact, a serious, lasting impact which shakes the ground beneath our feet, an impact which cuts through the mix, grabs people's attention, holds that attention, and then informs, educates, motivates, and converts. To make this impact, today's business professionals reach for PowerPoint.
All right, so that video right there, it did go a little bit longer than a minute, I will admit that. But however, we're still seeing a lot of success with it. I think right off the bat, you see the character and you're connected with them, and it helps having the narrator there explain everybody's trying to make an impact, and we can relate to that, right? And we see that character and he's looking at the top of the mountain with the flag, and we want to reach the top of the mountain and plant that flag there and make an impact. So we got them hooked at the beginning, right? And then, not to mention the narrator tone, is kind of like that movie trailer. So, it's adding a little bit of excitement and suspense in there too, which we think is helpful. After that, the narrator in our ad said, you don't have to be an expert to make video, with this lady on the screen here. And the listener was immediately centered as our protagonist. So we've hooked them in the beginning with, video can make that impact, but now I'm not an expert, but I want to be able to make video as well. So now it's really relating to me. And just as quickly, the camera moved to a happy Vyond customer enjoying the video creation process. And we as listeners identified with them through cognitive empathy, identifying their joy and experiencing, if only conceptually, how we might ourselves feel by using Vyond.